Hello and welcome to the CV Warrior podcast. Here we dive deep into the lives and experiences of real life warriors, people who face challenges head on, embody resilience and inspire others with their journey. I'm Sam Isaac, and on today's episode we have a true warrior joining us. So we're honoured to have Lewis Howells sit with us, Newport's very own Welsh warrior. Lewis will be looking to build on his debut win when he makes his 5th professional appearance next month. Howells, who operates in the middleweight division, began his journey as a professional boxer when he outpointed Jordan Granham back in 2022. The Welshman currently resides in Stratford-upon-Avon with his family and is coached by Derek Fitzpatrick at the Fitzpatrick's Boxing Gym in Leamington Spa. 2024 will hopefully be a year to remember for the Newport native, who is very keen on continuing his combat progression and doing all he can to add his name to Welsh boxing's history books. Welcome to the show, Lewis.
Thanks for having me, Sam, and thanks to Cultured Violence for having me here too.
That's all right. So just to start things off, let's go back to the start. Can you share with us where you grew up and what your early life was like?
Yeah, so I'm from Ringland in Newport, South Wales. Quite a small estate, but that to me is where my home is. So yeah, early life, as a normal kid, you just go down the park with your mates. Quite different than how it is these days when you sat on the phone and whatnot, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so I wanted to go back to a specific year, and that's 2015, where you became the Welsh national champion at the age of 17. I mean, how did it make you feel to know that you were doing so well in your boxing venture at such a young age?
Yeah, that was amazing. Obviously, as a kid, when you first start boxing, that is the stepping stone to where you need to be, and it truly was. From there, I got on the Welsh camp, and then we were just going internationals. Obviously, I went to like Serbia, Finland, Germany, all sorts. So we were going everywhere.
Yeah, I did hear that you went to Finland and you won a gold medal in a tournament over there. I mean that is crazy for me to hear, because I was still playing with my Pokemon cards at that age. I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
But so, and I wanted to know, were there any pivotal moments or mentors that you had early on in your career that led you to where you are now?
Honestly, no. Obviously, I knew of boxing when I was younger, but it wasn't something I took because I looked up to someone. It was just a case of my friends were doing it, so I tagged along, and next thing you know, it's going well. They've all stopped, and I've obviously, now I'm a pro, so it's a bit different.
So, another question: Did the younger Lewis, did you have any fears growing up?
No, honestly, you have
fearless from day one.
Yeah, as a kid, you have sort of fears, rides, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But no, in terms of life, I was just happy to take it head on and just see where I went.
Yeah, so can you recall of what you dreamt of becoming as an adult when you were younger?
A father. It was always something I dreamt of, I'll be honest. It wasn't sports, it was family life, and that's what I got. So that, to me, is the biggest win I've got. But now I'm heading on to my professional career. Getting to the stages now where I really want to push on. Obviously, I've only had 4 fights. I'm 3 years into my pro career, so it's quite stale. But yeah, hopefully I can kick on this year and then just get some momentum and just keep out there.
Nice. That's what we like to hear. So Lewis, just in general, what cultural experiences or influences during your childhood shaped who you are today?
So yeah, where I'm from, there's not a lot there. So as a kid, you just go into sports. It's one of them things you do. Obviously, when you're out with your mates, it's constant football, playing what we used to call run out back in the day. It's like tag for grown up sort of thing. All the kids. So we just used the whole estate. So yeah, there was that. So I was always an active child, and I always enjoyed sports. So then when I found out that my friends were boxing, it was another sport to add to my activity list. And when I got there, I enjoyed every minute of it. So.
Nice. So speaking of you starting boxing, we wanted to talk about your journey as a whole. And so at this stage, your journey, it has been inspiring to watch. So I just wanted to delve into that more. So what I know what motivated you to pursue a career in boxing, because you mentioned that you used to train just with your friends because they were doing it, but what actually motivated you to pursue a career in boxing?
Well, at the start it was just a hobby, and then when you do it and you're winning, that's the motivation you need, because there is nothing better than standing there on your own, you've achieved that yourself. Not as, alright, you have your cornermen and that team around you who coach you in the first place. But other than that, it's an individual achievement. You're not there with 11 footballers, it's just you. And there is no better feeling.
And can you describe like a defining moment in your amateur career where your resolve was tested?
Yeah, when I won, well, actually it was before I won the Welsh Championships, because I was at another club where I started off, and I was fighting these lads from a different club, and their coach said to me, listen, you're at the wrong weight, you need to come over to me, I'll sort your weight out, and next year you'll be winning a Welsh title. And fairness to him, that's exactly what he did, and it was a test to me because I've never dieted. But yeah, I got down to the weight, won that Welsh title, and that was it then. I was at that weight for the rest of my Welsh amateur career with the Welsh team, and as someone who don't diet or eat healthy, that was always a difficult moment for me.
Okay, so just out of the whole career, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced and overcame?
Well, when I hit the age of 17, 18, and your friends are going out there drinking, partying, meeting girls, and obviously I'm there spending my weekends with Wales up in the training centre. It is tough. As an 18-year-old, you want to go experience that, but I had higher goals, and I managed to, well, put that to one side and just carry on with my career. Shortly afterwards, I did stop, but that wasn't to do with the fact that I felt like I was missing out. It was more of I just stopped enjoying boxing. I fell out of love with it, so then it was just I didn't want to do it no more.
Speaking of that, was there ever a time where you felt giving up? Was it that moment there?
Yeah, it was definite. That was the moment. There was no time before then where I thought, right, I want to quit. It was a case of I started finding myself. I wasn't happy, so then I just thought, right, I'm not going to sit here and do something I don't want to do. I was putting way too much pressure on myself and taking pressure from other people. So I just thought, no, that's it, I'm done.
And how did you manage to keep going?
Well, by quitting. If I never quit, I don't think I would be doing it today. Having that time out really helped me. So yeah.
So I wanted to talk about your latest venture in the near future. I've seen you announce recently that you're fighting on the 28th of September at the Sports Connection in Coventry. So can you fill us in more on that? You know, like who are you fighting? Where can the fans acquire some tickets? Yeah,
so I'll have the tickets personally. So if anyone who's looking to come, just social media, text me. If you're closer, got my number. But yeah, I'll have all the tickets myself. I'm happy to go hand them out, deliver them.
And your social media, do you want to give that name, your Instagram or your Twitter?
Yeah, it's Lewis Howells Boxing 97. I don't have Twitter.
No,
Facebook,
I don't either.
Lewis Howells, So I'm just Facebook and Instagram. I'm pretty basic. So yeah, okay. So they're the two. Go on, have a look if you're looking for tickets. Get in touch with me.
And how much will the tickets be, do you reckon?
They range from £40 to £60.
40 to 60.
Yeah, 40 for standard, 60 for ringside.
Okay. And I wanted to discuss this next bit on the podcast because a lot of people don't know this, but behind the scenes, boxers, you have to put in so much work. And I just wanted to ask, I'd like to pull the curtain back and ask you about some of the processes. So how do you actually get fights?
So I've got a manager who's got a lot of contacts. So I basically, when I'm ready to fight, I'll give him a ring, tell him I'm ready, and he'll then go out and he'll find me a fight within. Well, you can phone up today and get one tomorrow. That's how good he is.
Wow.
But as I'm in the early stages, a lot of people would look for journeymen.
Yeah.
So they can be a bit harder to find. But I've now gone down that route. I have looked for 50-50 fights. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and how do you find sparring partners? Is it just the usual people that you train with at the gym, or?
We do some in-house rounds, but the lads there, they're obviously a little bit lighter than me, so I can't really, go full out on them.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to ask, how do you get sponsors?
same again, social media, word of mouth sort of thing. When I'm out and about, I would go ask companies. But yeah, mainly through social media, family, friends, who they know, what companies they know.
Yeah, and are you looking to gain more sponsors currently, or?
Yeah, I'm always looking, to be honest. I've had, well, like you said, I've had 4 fights, and I've paid for 4 brain scans, and they ain't cheap.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm always looking for sponsorship. So yeah, if anyone out there's willing to get involved, just
So
let me know.
the brain scan, what is that about? Is that like a fight-related injury, or?
No, they do them yearly, but
Okay.
because I've obviously not been active, I'm having one every year, but I'm only having 1 fight per year.
Oh, so.
The first brain scan I had a cyst on the brain, so then that, lucky enough, that got cleared. But then I had to go for another brain scan, and then I had to go to see a neurologist, so then he could pass it before the board would actually approve my license. But that's all done now. So.
And does this like affect you on your boxing journey? Is this like in the back of your mind whenever you go out to fight?
No, not at all.
No, well, yeah.
Yeah, it never affected me in the past. I wasn't aware it was there when I first had a brain scan, and the fact that the boxing board's cleared it 4 times now, I'm pretty sure there's nothing serious, so I don't even think about it.
Nice one. That just does prove that you are like a warrior and you're willing to fight through stuff. And I wanted to ask, how do you go about getting a professional boxing license?
So you do have to have I say you have to. A lot of people, they like to have an amateur pass, but there are lads out there which is not. But sometimes it can be a lot harder for them to get it approved, and they might have to go through like training sort of thing where they're watched, mentored to see if they are actually capable of going pro. But yeah, it's paperwork, sort of file it off, send it to them. You then have to go to the meeting. They'll sit down with you, go through literally everything to do with pro boxing and the medical side of things. Once that then gets approved, it's all your medicals, your brain scans, all that side of things. Once that's approved, they'll then hand in your license.
I mean, at least it is regulated, because I know obviously a lot of people, what we see now, there's a lot of like social media boxing. I mean, I like to know that it is at least regulated on some level, and you have to go through some processes to get in.
Oh, that's it. Well, a lot of us have families, so it's nice to know that you're looked after by a boxing board of control, as much of a pain it can be, and sometimes when you're trying to just get a fight over the line and you've got medicals to do. But yeah, at least you know you're being looked after by a boxing board of control.
Nice. So have you got? I know we spoke before about your next fight. Have you got any info on your next opponent?
No, nothing.
Wow.
Quite often I don't even ask, to be honest with you.
I mean that is inspiring to me, because like you said put anyone in front of me. I don't mind. I'll fight them.
With my debut, I was told I was fighting a light heavyweight. So obviously I didn't drop any weight. 10 days before the fight, I see my manager, asked if I could have some more tickets. So I met that with him. I said, I'm still fighting that light heavyweight? He said, no, you're fighting a middleweight. So I had to drop 10 kilos in 10 days. And obviously I did it. I had a tough lad, Jordan Cranham, very durable lad. And lucky enough, I got over the line. After the fight, obviously, with all the emotions and all the adrenaline, everyone's coming up to me. I just had to go in a room on my own, just sit on my own, because my head was spinning. I felt sick because of everything. Obviously, the weight cut, the first time back in the ring for 8 years. Obviously, there was just a lot going on.
I mean, that is incredible to see. So the cutting of the weight, is that? Did you feel like weaker inside, or did you feel like very uneasy?
No, but obviously a few days before the fight, when I'm just cutting everything out, I mean even cutting water out, it was hard. So I was still working as well, and it was the middle of summer, so I'm doing AstroTurf pitches. Sun's beaming down on me and I can't drink, so it was hard. But yeah, after I weighed in and then refueled, I didn't feel too bad. I could obviously feel better. But yeah, during the fight, I didn't think it felt like, I didn't feel the weight cut on me whilst I was in there. It was more so afterwards.
I suppose you're just focused too much on winning.
Yeah, well that's it. Yeah, and all the nerves of getting back out there again for the first time in years.
So I know that every warrior's journey is filled with knowledge and milestones and stuff that we've all gained. So I know that you grew up in Newport and now that you live in Stratford upon Avon. How are you finding that?
Oh, I love it. It's a completely different culture. Newport will always be my home. That's where I grew up. But in all fairness, Stratford is a lot better place.
Yeah,
it's where I would want my kids to grow up rather than Newport. There's better opportunities.
Yeah, it's quite a nice town. I've only been there a few times, but obviously I've lived in Warwickshire my whole life. So, and speaking of Warwickshire, you're currently training under Derek Fitzpatrick at the Fitzpatrick Gym in Leamington Spa. So I wanted to know what are the best things that Derek and Fitzpatrick's in itself have taught you.
Well, he's tried to teach me many things, and we've come to a bit of a head at times because he wants me to fight, I want to box, but I've left there before my third fight, I believe it was, and tried another gym. It wasn't working out, so I went back to Derek, kind of with my tail in between my legs. We got down to work. He's just on top of me. I told him I need someone who will push me, and at the time he wasn't, but now he really pushes me, and that's the best thing he can do. Sometimes it's a bit of an annoyance when you got your phone ringing all the time and it's like, oh, it's Derek, just put that down. But no, it's got to the stage now where we know how each other works and it is a good relationship.
But I can relate to that, and I do think that such a big part of actually moving forward is sometimes you do just need that push off someone to be able to get into whatever you're doing, especially you as a boxer. I think it's you do need someone to push you.
Yeah, well, when I stopped for all those years, in between, obviously I had 8 years, 7-8 years out. In between, there was times where I did try to go back, but I was just going to my local gym, training myself, and because I weren't pushing myself, there was never that urge to go and do it because there was no improvements. And it wasn't until obviously I found Derek's gym after quite a bit of looking around in this area. I found that was where I wanted to be. So yeah. Yeah.
So what are some of the most valuable lessons that you've learned throughout your career?
To be honest, it's just activity. As an amateur, I didn't have a glorious record. I wasn't no Lomachenko. I had 70 amateur fights, probably got a 60-40 record. And in fairness, that don't bother me. I'm happy with those losses. It's just all experience. Obviously, I lost my last professional fight. That hurts because as a pro, you don't want that loss on your record. But having these fights and being active, it just gives you the experience you need to go out there and get the titles you need. Yeah.
So, how do you deal with failure and setbacks?
As an amateur, obviously, I was still in my teenage years. I dealt with it fine, just put it in the back of my head, didn't bother me. The last fight, I did take a bit hard. I didn't sleep for a week. I was watching the videos every night before I went to bed. The knockdown, just trying to find out where it went wrong. Personally, I think I was trying to impress everyone else rather than doing what I needed to do. But yeah, I've got over it now. I'm back in the gym, I'm working, and hopefully I'll put things right now on the 28th.
Well, it was. I did watch your last fight, and I did think that it was. I thought it was a good fight, both from you and Kieran. But obviously, I thought you were coming into. You were sort of gaining that confidence towards the end of the fight, and I know it was 6 rounds, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the only issue. That really knocked down. I was trying to chase something which wasn't there. I didn't find my range, so it was hard to get.
I think if the fight was 8 rounds, I definitely think you could have won it.
I could agree with you on that, but obviously that was my 6 rounds is the most I've done, so I don't know what I would have been 7 and 8. But when you watch it back, you will see that obviously rounds 5 and 6 I was really coming onto there. It looked like the confidence was coming away from him and then coming out in me, but unfortunately that's boxing. It was only 6 rounds and I didn't do enough in those 6 rounds.
So whenever you fight, for you, what's the ideal number of rounds that you have in a fight?
For now, I will say 6 because I am quite a slow starter, so it is quite hard for 4 rounds. But obviously, I do want to start doing those 8 and 10 rounders because I want to start looking at titles now. We'll just say start of next year because I don't know how active I'm going to be at the end of this year. But yeah, I really want to start up in the rounds now. Just get cardio behind me. Just keep active, keep the weight down, and then I know that obviously I'll be having a title next year without a doubt.
Nice. So what can you share a story where a significant failure has turned into like a pivotal learning moment for you?
Yeah, I would say the last fight is that.
The last fight.
The whole experience of it, being on Sky Sports, all that's over and done with now. The next time that happens, I know what to expect, so then I can show them exactly what I'm capable of. Because I wouldn't say I'm the most confident person, but in terms of natural ability, I got a lot there. I just need to work on that, and that's something I'm doing now in the gym. Now I've lost, I know what I need to do to get these wins. So I just got to work hard and see where it goes.
So do you reckon there was a bit of pressure, considering it was Sky Sports and was it your first time fighting in like a major arena?
Yeah, at the moment I've just been boxing on like small hall shows.
Yeah.
So that one was a massive step up. It was in my hometown. It was against my old sparring partner, my old teammate, my old friend, also an old opponent. There was a lot there. I had quite a bit going on that weekend with issues with the car, which I was trying to sort out, but that didn't affect the fight. It was just one of those things I didn't need. The whole interviewing process, the weigh-ins on TV, just everything in general was just like mind-blowing sort of thing. So I'm now glad that's over and done with, and I can just look forward to just carrying on with my career and now getting back to that point where I'm on Sky Sports and just doing what I need to do, rather than trying to impress everyone else.
Yeah, and I know that I know that obviously we're talking about boxing, but but everyone needs that's something on the outside that we have to calm ourselves down. A second passion or hobby. What is your second passion outside of boxing?
It's family time. Yeah. So obviously I work full time. I train as well every day of the week pretty much. Sometimes twice a week if I can. So it's nice to have that time with my family when obviously I'm not training. So yeah.
I was gonna say obviously, whenever you fight, are you thinking of your family? Are you thinking of building that kind of legacy?
Not so much in the fight. Towards the build up, obviously when I don't want to go to the gym, and then I'm sat at home and the kids are there, I'm like, I got to do it for their future rather than be selfish and just sit at home and not be where I need to be. So yeah, obviously hard work is that's what's going to get me to where I need to go, and that will then give them the best future they could have.
And I know you talk about putting in hard work, and your mindset has undoubtedly played a crucial role in your success moving forward. So how would you define a warrior mindset?
Well, to have a warrior mindset, I feel like you need to know yourself. If you haven't found yourself yet, it's very hard to push yourself, and if you can't push yourself, you can't be no warrior. So yeah, I just feel like you just need to be able to push through those boundaries, then points where you're tired and you want to give up, but then in your head, in your heart, you just got to keep going.
And what habits or routines do you adhere to maintain this mindset?
I don't know if it's natural or whether it's something you can get from training, but I just feel like it's in me. It's already there. So yeah, it's just the way you are, I believe. But some people may not have it and they can gain it, but I feel it was always there. So yeah. Well,
no, I mean obviously, yeah, you were national champion at 17, so I would imagine that you've always had that sort of like guile and like mental strength to be able to be in an industry like boxing. But I was going to ask, what's the most like sort of, we have talked about advice you received. What was the most sort of like influential advice that you've ever received, that someone told you and you just thought, well, I definitely need to do that?
I'd probably say from my father. He was a decent footballer as a kid, but unfortunately he didn't live the lifestyle. So then he embedded into me that I had to live the lifestyle to be where I needed to be, because I didn't want to live life in regret like he's had to with his football career. So yeah, I'd say that's one of the things. So that definitely stayed in my mind. I wanted to be a better person for myself and for my family. so that I don't feel the way he does and regret my past.
Yeah, I was going to say your family definitely must be proud of the journey that you're on now. Would you say that? Would you say that?
Definitely, yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. And obviously, I know that you have got young children, but apart from that, do your family watch any of your fights?
Yeah, they watched the last one. Obviously, that was streamed, so my two older children, they watched it. They didn't really know what was going on, straight in at the TV sort of thing. But yeah, they watched that one. They haven't been to any others. They haven't watched any others. I will be taking my youngest daughter now to the one on the 28th, so she'll be one then. So yeah, it'd be nice to have her there, but the other two, they'll just stay at home in bed. They don't really know what's going on.
And so, and what I was going to ask, what helps keeps you motivated and focused?
Just that end goal of knowing that where I could be in life in, say, 3-4 years' time, and where I could be in life if I don't do it. So yeah, I just got to keep pushing and hope that I achieve what I personally believe I can achieve.
And I know obviously we spoke about you've had like big breaks before, so does that focus, does it kind of decline in the off season when you're not fighting?
Yeah, big time.
And you've got other stuff on your mind.
My diet is terrible, so I am guilty of that. It's a bit of a Ricky Hatton diet. But yeah, if I'm not fighting, I do balloon, and that's one of the things I really need to get on top of, because I need to stay down and weight, because for all I know, the phone could ring tomorrow and they could have me back on Sky Sports fighting one of these big lead promotional fighters they got. And obviously a win against one of those just escalate you massively. So you have got to stay ready, and I am guilty of not staying ready. So yeah, that's why I just want to get this fight done now on the 28th and just stay active.
Yeah, I love the honesty from but speaking of you were talking about always staying ready, and I was going to ask, what was the last fight that you had that wasn't inside the squared circle, the boxing ring?
About 2 months before my pro debut, I was out in Newport. No, I wouldn't say 2 months, probably about 4 months. And I was out in Newport town, and it's not the nicest of places, in all fairness. It's always trouble. And there's this lad stood waiting for a taxi, and he was mutual friend with my mates. My mates gone and spoke to him. I've gone over, and I don't know if he just didn't like the look of me or whatnot, but he thought I said something to him and I didn't. So obviously I had a drink, I was a bit merry. I said, oh, do you want to go around the corner and speak one-to-one? Not, I didn't mean it in any malicious way. I was genuinely mean just to get out of, like, because it was a crowd and I couldn't hear what he was saying. I said, come on, just come away. So as I've gone to walk off around the corner, he's just turned around and hit me, and that was it then. I wouldn't say it was a fight. He hit me, I hit him, and then literally just a group of people just jumped on the pair of us, and then that was it. Police and everything came, so I ran off, like, but yeah.
Well, you know, I think you made the right decision running away. But yeah, I was going to say that is cultured violence right there, because obviously there are always people that, you know, like they want to start problems for no reason, and sometimes there have to be people there that can, you know, answer to those problems, and the people that can, you know, protect people that can't protect themselves. Yeah,
there was actually an instance of that a few years back when I don't know, 19, 20 maybe, and one of my friends I knew, he's good footballer, like, but he was a no fighter, and these 3 lads started on him, and obviously with me having the background I was there to have his back, kind of like calm the situation down, and like said to them, if anything happens, I will be sorting.
You're gonna have to deal with me.
Yeah, and no, that was pretty much it. So yeah, having that cultured violence background, obviously it helps you in future life.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, speaking of your fight, I know that, you know, your last opponent, Kieran Jones, he was a former teammate of yours, and I wanted to know, is there any tension or animosity between you two? No,
there was that little push in the weigh-ins.
Yeah, I did see that clip. Yeah.
But like even after that, it was kind of things I knew that it wasn't any malicious intentions from him. Obviously, it's for the camera sort of thing. And after the fight, we obviously spoke during an interview, and he had nice things to say. Yeah,
I saw you two get interviewed together, which I thought was very nice to see.
He had good things to say about me. Obviously, he just beat me, so I couldn't say anything bad about him. But no, I gave him a text then, because I was out with my mates after that. I went for a little drink, and gave him a text. Couldn't get hold of him. Got back in the hotel, and he was there drinking with obviously all his family and friends. So we sat down with him in the hotel for about 2 hours, just him, his partner, and obviously my wife. And yeah, just had a nice drink and a catch up with him, and it back to friends, back in the old days sort of thing. It's just all forgotten.
I do think it's really nice to see that, you know, obviously you can have a fight with someone, and you know, a few hours later you're sat drinking with each other's families. I think that is really nice to see.
Well, that's one of the things about boxing. Obviously, beforehand you hate each other, you want to kill each other, but after that it's just like all forgotten and your best mate sort of thing.
And you know, speaking of that, are there any other fighters that you train with who you could encounter on the pro circuit?
There's a few, yeah, but I'm not going to name drop because I don't want any of them to think that I'm coming for them. Obviously, there's lads out there who I still spar with now, so yeah, we'll leave it at that. But there is few that could come across me in the past and in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, you know, that's moving forward. I guess you just you know in your head your ability, and you know that if it happens, you probably could beat him. Let's be honest. But no, I wanted to say, you know, the impact and legacy of, you know, boxing career. So your boxing journey, it hasn't only impacted your life, but people around you. And I just wanted to ask, would you like to, you know, would you like to impact others through your career and your experiences?
Yeah, I'd love to people to look at me as like this icon sort of thing, especially like where you're from. You want to be like this local hero, but at the end of the day, I just got to focus on what I need to do and just hope that in the future that it helps others to do what maybe they want to do and reach their goals.
Yeah, and I was going to say, are you simply a pro fighter, but are you also a mentor for the next generation of warriors?
I would like to think so, yeah. I'm, as you can tell from this, I'm quite an honest speaking person. What I say, what I think I say, and I just want people to know that what it takes to be a boxer, it isn't easy, but if you want to reach your goals, you just gotta do what you need to do.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned before about titles, and you wanted to win a title. But are there any achievements that you're looking to fulfill before you retire? Is it that title?
Yeah, I'd have to say, obviously, at the stage I'm at the moment, I would have to say British title. But to me, that's just, once I've got that goal done, I'll just move them goalposts further back, and I'll just keep on reaching until obviously
keep on climbing that ladder.
Just keep going until obviously I can't go no further. So obviously that would be multi-world title, but I'm a realist. I'm not at that stage at the moment. I just gotta do what I can.
Looking sooner, what would you like to accomplish within the next sort of 3 years? Would you say?
3 years. Well, that British title would be one. A Welsh title. Hopefully that would be next year. But we just have to see where we go. For all I know, I could be well past that point in 3 years' time and looking at retirement. We don't know. So we just have to see what happens.
All right, now, for this aspect, I just wanted to switch a few things up with a rapid fire question round. So I want fast questions and some fast answers.
Yeah.
All right, so describe yourself in 3 words.
Honest, hardworking, and loyal.
Nice. Oh, no, I like it. And what's a book, a TV show, or a movie that resonates with you?
It gotta be Rocky, haven't it?
Rocky, that's classic.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you can't live without?
Family.
What is your favourite way to relax?
It's family time.
Family time. And I was gonna say, can you say cultured violence in Welsh?
No, I don't speak Welsh.
What is your favourite artist or band on your current playlist?
Do you know what? I'm quite open. I'm listening to all sorts of music. I wouldn't say I have one. Yeah, so no, I don't really have one.
Are there any that springs to mind that you like at the moment?
I like a bit of Central C, but yeah, we'll just go with that.
A little bit of Central. That's not. What is your ideal post-fight vacation spot?
Probably Wales. I wouldn't say it's ideal. You look at the Bahamas or the Maldives, but that's not realistic. But it's always nice to go home, see your family and friends before a fight. So yeah.
And what is your go-to cheat meal?
Probably a kebab.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll go kebab.
It's the classic.
Dirty.
Who is your favourite current fighter?
Favourite current? You gotta be Canelo Alvarez.
No, he is. Yeah, he's a tough guy. His punching power and speed.
And
is
then the way he just moves through the weights is just.
Yeah, he is inspiring. And I want to say southpaw or orthodox.
What I prefer to fight?
Yeah.
I don't have a preference. Orthodox you come across more often, so you kind of you know what to do, sort of thing. But it's nice that I fight a southpaw because it's easier to land that right hand.
I just wanted to ask, Tom Jones or Goldie looking chain?
Tom Jones.
And Wales or United Kingdom?
Wales.
And that last one, heads or tails?
Heads.
Nice. So it's been amazing talking with you, Lewis. But before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts or advice for our listeners out there?
Just work hard and know your own goals, reach them goals, and then push further.
Okay, that's really nice. So thank you so much, Lewis Howells, for joining us today, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, double jab that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Until next time, stay strong and keep embracing your inner warrior, and above all else, venture with honour.